What's up? I'm Brent, and I'm going to teach you some of my favorite ways to season some of my dishes just based upon different flavor profiles that I like to mix together. The best part about all of this is that I'm not an actual chef. I never went to culinary school. So a lot of these flavor pairings are just things that I tend to like together. Get creative with this. This is just meant to be a place where you can actually figure out the basis of how to pair these things together and then start messing around. So what we'll start with is Mexican flavor bases. So we've got onion powder, garlic powder, we've got some sweet paprika, we've got black pepper, and we've got cayenne. When you're mixing all of these together, I tend to just do a general ratio of like, you always double up on onion powder. I don't really ever measure it. I kind of just shake it on there, but you do usually 2x, however much you're gonna do for the rest of the seasonings. You start with the onion powder, build the flavor there, add the garlic, and then you're gonna add the rest of the spices after that. You probably wanna go a little bit lighter on the black pepper and the cayenne, but again, make it your own, mess around with it. This is a good place to start if you're trying to make anything south of the border. You'll notice that garlic and onion are gonna be part of the bases, a lot of these different flavor profiles. So I'm gonna take these out, and then we are gonna go to Italy. Again, double up on onion powder, garlic. You can do, so we've got oregano here or sage. You can mix either of the two there. If you wanted to add in like crushed red pepper, you could as well. But these are great flavors for if you're gonna do some like roasted zucchini, or if you're gonna do zoodles or butternut squash noodles as well would work. Basically anything that you're roasting, you could throw this on. This would also go very well on pasta if you didn't wanna do a red sauce. You do this with a little bit of olive oil, mix that all in. Then, this is kind of like a mix between African spices and Middle Eastern spices. You can kind of mix these around as well. Sumac is one of my favorite spices. It's got a little bit of tanginess to it. It's also kind of earthy, but it's really, really good. And it's almost, it's great on its own. But building in a little bit of onion powder and garlic powder there will work. Then also parsley and cumin. Love cooking with a lot of cumin. Being able to mix all these together, these are great if you're gonna make like a curry or any sort of stir fry. It also works very well for that. This is also one of my favorite seasonings if you're gonna do a dry rub for a steak. Fantastic. And last but not least, we got some of my favorite Asian profiles. So we've got onion powder, garlic powder, we've got ginger, and then we've got one of my favorites, which is togarashi. So I tend to cook with this quite a bit. You can add coconut aminos as well if you're not using just powder-based spices, but if you're doing any sort of liquids. Also, you've got like fish sauces and things that you can use, but if you're sticking with just the spices, these four are great. I tend to put togarashi basically on everything. On top of noodles, on top of egg. It's got a little bit of a spice to it, a little bit of pepperiness to it. It's absolutely phenomenal. So if you mix all of those together, it makes a really, really solid foundation for Asian flavoring. But again, test each one of these things out. Don't be stuck to a particular recipe saying that it has to be one thing or another. The goal of all of this is for you to feel comfortable in the kitchen, and it really does start with understanding how flavoring and spices apply to the meal that you're actually trying to make.